All right, let's try this again, family. All right, what's up? It's really getting dark out here now. Anyways, hopefully you guys having a good one. Oh boy, it's been a nice hot day, but it's all good in the neighborhood. And I will come outside and try to go live when it's like nice and dark out here, but it's all good. Just going to the store, run some errands, made some money moves, getting back into the motion of things. But of course, by the time I get comfortable and get back into the motion of things, I'll be going to be in Atlanta by Friday. So Invest Fest, you know what it is. I see they had a BBW bash down there in good old Atlanta on this weekend. So hopefully everybody who went down for it had a good time. You know, that's all that matters. My mindset is nowadays love, peace, and happiness. You know, miss me with the nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Because it just ain't that serious. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, let me know what you guys got going on this weekend. You know, this has been a catch up on everything kind of weekend since I just got back from Los Angeles. I've been catching up on a lot of things in the house with my dog, my cars, business, things of that nature. So it's the weekend I signed up with the travel business, so I'm going to be learning more about that. I'm going to be nice and occupied with that, and which is a good thing. Don't let me see you on payday. Oh boy. Yeah, it's going to be a little dark and whatnot, but it is what it is. I used to usually doing this during the day, but it was so hot outside, you can put a fried egg outside in Virginia, in DC and Maryland area, and you get scrambled eggs and whatnot, get a boiled egg and whatnot. So I had to be like, yeah, let me just do what I got to do. I'm in the house today, and then I'll come outside when it's quiet outside. So when the sun goes down, when it's cool outside, because it was boiling. That's why I said, give me the West Coast, that desert dry heat over this swampy humidity that we got here in the East Coast and in the deep South and whatnot. I know when I go to Atlanta, it's going to be hot as all Hades and whatnot. Next month, going to New Orleans for the first time. I know it's going to be real hot, but I'm looking forward to it. Everything's chicken but the bone, because I will be heading to the New Orleans home. Because it's set in stone. It's going to be a nice quick trip, but it's all good. I'll leave it at that. Come on. You can do it. Put your back into it. Trying to get out of my neighborhood. But, yeah, man, it's been a good day, good vibes. Went live earlier on YouTube talking about people need to be more like Negan from the show Walking Dead, when Negan was just very aggressive in regards to the things he wanted to get done in life. And being more and more aggressive nowadays is probably one of the most important things, because, closed mouths don't get fed. Okay, closed mouths get laid to bed and end up dead. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you got to be that person that's got to be very aggressive, egregiously aggressive in regards to what you want to get done in this life, or nothing will get done. That's just the way that the game goes. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Might take a trip to Houston late September, early September. I've been out to Houston since February, so that is overdue, but it'll be a nice quick trip. Buddy's trying to get me to come up to Boston. Never been to Boston before, so might do that. And that's the main reason why I'm signed up with the travel business, because I travel so much. Might as well start taking advantage of extra benefits, specifically business benefits, from having a side hustle travel business, number one. Number two, maybe next year might even think about getting a timeshare if the deal is right, if the price is right, So it's just one of those things. Specifically because I'm looking to travel more outside of the country. So being a member, IHG member, that's cool. But specifically, if I can, stay at a nicer hotel for a better price and get a tax write-off for paying into having a timeshare, then it might be economically feasible for me. And and that's just, every day is a chance to learn. As the world turns, stagflation is just not my thing. And I've learned, I've said this 1,000 times, I've learned through the years, get away from the stagnated mindset, get away from the stagnated people, and my life has gotten better in regards to doing that. So, that's why I say life is good. It's not me bragging. I'm the most humble dude you ever meet. There's a reason why I'm driving a 25-year-old car. I ain't never had a car payment because I don't like unnecessary bills. And that's why I'm changing up a lot of my habits now as well. Not even just trying to get to points from the credit cards and whatnot, and points from wherever I stay at and what airline I fly, getting cashback rewards and whatnot, but being able to just be more frugal. Because I remember when, and this is crazy now, it's been 15 years since I bought my house. Dang, that's crazy, my first home. And I remember the craziest thing was, it's April of 2010. This is back during the recession days. So this is back when the regulations were tighter for buying a home, but you had a lot more you had buying a home incentive from the government at the time. Excuse me. If you bought your first home and whatnot, you get an extra stimulus check. People were getting stimulus checks. This during the Obama administration. I don't care if you like Obama, Trump, Biden, whatever. We ain't doing this stupid political nonsense. Rich, politics is really for rich people. Poor people just play we're basically economic pawns in the game of politics. But anyways, in the game of capitalism, period. And that's how it's supposed to be. I'm not even knocking it. It should be the same thing in socialism. It should be the same thing in freaking in communism. So, so anyways, so that's why this is no diss to America or any system. This is just me giving my perspective. Stay there, fool. And watch these fools in good old Woodbridge, Virginia, burn it off the map country. But anyways, the point I was getting at the end of the day is, you're going to turn today or we're going to turn tomorrow. Thank you. Lord have mercy. Anyways, the point I was getting at is that I had like 2 bills to my name because I was living with roommates at the time. And so the apartment was not in my name. I had 2 bills to my name. I didn't have a car payment, didn't have student loan payments. The debt principal is some real stuff, okay? And when I say the debt principal is some real stuff, I mean, because you can't even if you don't have credit card debt, right? I had 1 credit card to my name at the time. But if you don't have credit card debt, if you don't have a mortgage, if you don't have rental history, which I didn't have, okay? If you don't have a car payment history, which I've never had. I'm 42, never had a car payment in my life. Stay in your lane, fool. Getting a loan from a bank is like hell on earth. And this was in 2010. They couldn't fathom this. They was like, okay, you have a good credit score, but you don't have a real history of debts. And it's going to be hard for us to give you a loan because you don't have a history of paying debts. We don't like people like you. And I was dumbfounded because at the time, this is 15 years ago. So, 15 years ago, I'm still in my 20s. I could not comprehend at the time, because I didn't have financial literacy, I could not comprehend a banking institution not want to issue me a home loan for a guy who made a decent living. This is what we do. We just hang out in front of, this is so ghetto. Anyways, I could not comprehend a banking institution not giving me a loan based off of the fact that I was good with I didn't have enough debt. That's the crazy thing when I think about this stuff now. It's like, I did not have enough debt. It's crazy, but it's possible. I did not have enough debt. Okay? And the shopping center is getting more ghetto and ghetto. But I did not have enough debt in order for me to get a home loan. And it took a lot, and I had to get special notes and things of that nature because I did not have enough debt to get a home loan. And that tripped me out. I'm just like, what kind of crazy nonsense is this? I couldn't fathom this back at the time, in my late 20s. But now I get it. This is why people like to shame people for not having a lot of financial debts, like to shame people for not having an overpriced car that they can't afford, for shame people for not having overpriced clothing that they can't afford. I did not realize that this was a thing. And later on in life, I got more credit cards. Later on in life, I still had a good credit score. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just saying this is what it is. And because of the more credit cards I got, the banking institutions love me more. Because of the more credit cards I got, the credit card institutions love me more. But because at the time I only had one Citibank credit card, which still have the same credit card to this day. I had one credit card, and they, and once I got like 2 more credit cards, the banking institutions loved me. Because I only had one credit card, and with a good credit score, I was going to get denied a bank loan because I did not have enough debt. Or what they like to call enough established credit. Because basically, even though I was in my late 20s at the time, I was looked at as basically a person who was fresh out of high school, even though I had a great job history, no real unemployment gaps, no unemployment gaps whatsoever. But it goes to show you that the debt principle for regular everyday working people, the debt principle, or even rich people, the debt principle applies. Because if you don't have established history of paying bills, that's the main thing, paying bills, having some sort of debt to pay on, institutions will not lend you money. A lot of times institutions won't even lend you money, period, even if you have all that good stuff, especially when it comes to getting business credit and whatnot. But they will not lend you money if you do not have enough credit and whatnot, or banking history and whatnot. And you realize that in my lifetime. So that's crazy. Moral of the story is, the economic game of life, before I go into the store, the economic game of life is the play to win. You're going to play like it's chess, or you're going to play like it's checkers. And the checker players are the ones that just want to have a job, pay their bills, and die. The chess players are the ones that are trying to establish credit, get access to capital, buy assets, open businesses, engage with people that have that same mindset, and go from there. So, on that note, family, do the great thiefy things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. Make money moves on your gear, liberal like poses in Spanish. Bienvenido a la vida. Welcome to